Wanted to give a quick first thoughts review of this merino wool hoodie that I've just got. Excuse any noise in the background, I'm just in a hotel room. So I wanted specifically a merino wool hoodie for a couple of reasons. The first is that I do enjoy wearing hoodies. Despite being a slightly older man, I'm fairly bald and it's very comforting to have a nice hoodie. Second, I specifically wanted a merino wool hoodie so that it could be folded up quite easily into a travel bag, take up very little space. And so I started looking around for some companies to provide that. If you look online, you'll see various companies mentioned, Outlier for one, for example. But being in the UK, they can be a little bit more difficult to get hold of, and the cost of importing them pushes the price up quite a bit. So I was looking around and came across a company called Isobaa. So I'll quickly show you their logo, which seems to be on most of their products. Not a fan of having big bright logos, but that is fairly subtle at the bottom. Prefer it wasn't there, but it is, so it's okay, I guess. Wanted to talk about the overall quality. So it's a very, very well-made garment. You can feel as soon as you put it on that the wool itself is very thick. It's very good. It's a 260 gram, I think it is, hoodie or merino wool. And most garments tend to be about the 180 grams looking around. And that means it is slightly thicker. So for somebody looking for real ultralight travel, it's not the lightest you can get, but it is certainly a lot smaller when folded up than a traditional cotton hoodie. So very happy with that. It suits my needs very well. And being thicker does mean that it is a little bit warmer. And of course, hopefully, it should last a little bit longer. Obviously, I don't know. I've only had it a few days. So to look at a few of the details, the first thing that strikes me, of course, is that you've got this contrast colour for the zip and the inner lining of the hood. And it's not inside, it's just the inner lining of the hood. They do various colours on the website. The colour I almost went for was smoke, which is a very dark sort of charcoal grey with the blue lining and the blue zip. And I'll probably get that at some point in the future. But this I felt was more versatile. And it looks a bit more white inside on the pictures on the website, but it is actually a nice sort of a light to mid grey. So I think it looks very nice. And then just looking at some of the features we've got here. So the back of the hoodie, as you can see, is just slightly longer than the front. And I think that's because the company seems to specialise in outward bound products, or hiking products, running and so on. And that would obviously be very useful there. And you can also see that actually in the sleeves. So if we just zoom in on the sleeve there and try and get it in focus a bit, we can see that there is a thumb hole. There's also another little sort of monochrome label there, little sheep logo. But the thumb hole itself, I guess there's positives and negatives for that. I personally wasn't really looking for one with that. It's okay, I tend to fold it back. The arms are very long because of it, but I can see in winter it would be very useful. And I do go walking and hiking in winter sometimes. So this would be useful to have instead of gloves, or as well as gloves. You can just put your thumb through there. So again, positives and negatives, I guess it depends what you're looking for. Looking at the zips, all high quality YKK zips, very happy with those. And interestingly, they've got a nice little feature. When you click them in place, when you push them all the way down or all the way up, they actually click and stay there. So they don't flap about or make any noise. It's very, very good actually. Quite happy with the zips. And if we look at the top zip there, you can see there's a little cover just over the zip, which would be very nice in winter, of course. And I don't know, you can't see it in here, but there's actually just a very slight storm guard inside the zip. So as you open it, there is a slight covering there. And that will help, of course, with wind when the zip zipped up. And then we just look at the top there. We can see the drawstrings. Now they're captive drawstrings, so they don't hang down. They're actually inside the hood. And I like that feature. I think it's very, very nice. Some of the more travel-focused merino hoodies, they tend to have no drawstrings whatsoever. Which perhaps makes it look a little bit better, but of course you can't really cinch that hood down, and the cheaper traditional hoodies will have those drawstrings hanging down. They're typically in cotton, of course, and that is a slightly more informal look to have those drawstrings hanging down. So I like the compromise here. You can cinch the hood down, but those drawstrings are captive, so I do like that feature. All the stitching is very, very good. Very high quality finishing there. Excuse a few bits of dust. I have worn this a couple of times. So very, very happy there. So all the stitching is of similar high quality. I did find a couple of loose stitches. And I'll cut those off when I've got a chance. Doesn't really detract from the overall quality. Very happy. So what else to talk about with the hoodie? I guess the packaging. So the packaging is very nice. It comes in recycled packaging, a brown paper bag really is what they posted it in. Quite a thick paper bag, but a paper bag nonetheless. And inside was a recycled cardboard, sort of a bit like a large egg carton, sort of a box that opens up. And inside that was an Isobaa sleeve around the folded up product. So there's no plastic at all in the packaging, which I think is a really good thing and should be credited to the company. So well done there, Isobaa. What else? It arrived fairly quickly, took a couple of days. I did have to contact the company at one point. These items are fairly expensive, but there was a 20% discount when you first sign up, so for your first order. Now, I had trouble actually signing up. I contacted the company and they said they'd look into that, and of course just immediately sent me a discount code. So that's very gratefully received and good response from the company there. So any company can have minor issues, and they seem to have dealt with that okay. So, I mean, obviously I've not dealt with them for any significant issues, but at least that bodes well that I think they probably would respond fairly well if you have a problem. Overall, very happy with the hoodie. I did also get a black sweatshirt. Now, I haven't got it here. I decided not to bring that because I haven't yet decided to keep it. And that comes down to sizing. It felt just as good quality. They sell a 180 gram, I think it is, crew neck, more of a base layer. And the sweatshirts that I got, because the crew neck was out of stock in the medium, I got the sweatshirt instead, which is slightly thicker. Again, it's the same 260 gram merino from memory. It felt just as good quality, and comparing it to some of the cheaper sort of high street merino sweaters that I've got, it was a much better quality, much thicker, better quality. But I'm not yet convinced on the sizing. So I'm in my 50s. I'm 5'8". Not sure what weight I am, probably about 12 stone. Haven't weighed myself recently, and I have a 38-inch chest with I think a 32-inch waist. And this hoodie is okay. It's a touch big, perhaps, but I think if I went down to the small, so this is a medium, which is described as a 38-inch on their website, which should be correct. But every brand is slightly different, of course. I'm not sure if I went down to a 36, it would certainly be tighter, and I don't know for this particular garment that I would want something tighter. And it could just be that those slightly longer arms that I have to fold in because of the thumb holes, that could well be making me think this is a little bit larger. But certainly the sweatshirt I got did feel a little bit too large. I'll probably go down to a 36 medium for that and see how that feels, but we'll have to see. The colours on the website, fantastic, love them. I love the navy, I love the dark greys and of course the blacks, and it is a very nice deep black. And I'll probably return that sweatshirt, get it again in the black or maybe the smoke in a small, see how that fits. And at some point in the future, I might well get this same hoodie, but in the smoke with the blue lining and zip. But overall, very happy. Looks great, feels great, folds up very, very small into my bag. So yeah, it does what I need it to do. And here it is. I've just folded it and rolled it up next to a couple of items to give you an idea of scale if you were to travel with it, because I know that's quite a big market for merino hoodies. Below it, obviously, sunglasses case. To the right is a small travel mouse. That's an Logitech MX Anywhere, so that is quite small. It will compress down further in a compression sack, of course, or just in your normal bag, but this just gives you an idea. A few other things to comment on. The website doesn't state where the products are made, not that I could see anyway. The company itself is based in the UK. However, when I did receive the garment, it is made in China. So I think they should make it a bit more public where those products are made. That's something I'd like to see for all manufacturers when you buy something online. Finally, I did actually wash the arm last night. I managed to get some dirt on it, so I just rinsed just the arm, not the whole garment, and I hung it on the back of the chair last night to dry. And by this morning it was, and obviously that's one of the big advantages of merino wool, and one reason why a lot of travellers use them. So overall, very happy with the product. I was after something which I could use during normal day-to-day life, also for occasional travel. I'm not really a big traveller at the moment, and for activities such as walking, cycling, and so on. I am trying to have fewer clothes but higher quality clothes, and this does seem to fit exactly what I'm after. Um, Overall, I probably will buy more products from the company. I will look to do a long-term review after I've had this for a while, because I've only had it a few days, and that's it. So yeah, hopefully this has been useful.